Hi y'all, this is Yin Yang with Morsels of a Thought number 174 for you. Today's a rules day. It's the 24th of June 2021 and it's a Thursday. 24 is easily divisible by 3, so I talk about the rules by Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider. I'm going to read something out of an odd chapter, chapter 31, out of Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider's book, Not Your Mother's Rules, The New Secrets for Dating by Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider. Rule number 31, I will read you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 paragraphs, and the last one as well. So about 7 or 8 paragraphs. Next, and other rules for dealing with rejection. Being rejected is never easy, no matter how wrong a guy is for you or how much wrong he did you. Today, rejection can be even more painful than ever before. A guy can announce the breakup on Facebook or that he's finally single on Twitter. He can forward around nasty emails to cause you public humiliation in addition to private anguish. And if you do decide to stay connected to your ex on these sites, you may see status updates or photos of him with his new girlfriend or other women and find out that he has moved on. If a relationship doesn't work out, it's because it just wasn't good for you. But most often when women have just been broken up with, they do not want to hear that the guy they're pining for is not good for them. They just want him back. When women in this situation contact us for a consultation, and Ellen Fine and Sherry Schneider do worldwide consultations, so their rates are pretty expensive, but I know a few people who have done it and say that it's absolutely worth it. When women in this situation contact us for a consultation, we do everything we can to find out if the relationship is salvageable. If we think our client made a mistake that can be fixed or that there is the slightest chance of getting him back, we suggest one call, email, or text for closure. She can send one message saying something like, "Hi, just wanted to see how you are doing," to see if the guy bites. If it was a rules relationship to begin with and he shows interest in reconnecting, she will go on a strict plan of being hard to get but easy to be with. But if it was not, good morning, Rachel Flaxwaldman. We're talking about the rules today. But if it was not a rules relationship or her ex is already dating someone else, we advise her to move on and quickly. We say next, meaning wipe away a tear, go to a party or club where he is nowhere to be found, and join an online dating site ASAP. Of course, ASAP means as soon as possible. Of course, it's not always that easy to move on, and we completely understand and sympathize. Even if the guy was bad news, she may refuse to see it or ignores it and still wants him back. Maybe he is her high school sweetheart, maybe he is the guy she lost her virginity to, or maybe he is her fiancé. Even if he said, "I love you, but I'm not in love with you," or "we are just not good together," she may want him back. She just wants to talk about him, the guy who got away, and nothing else. She keeps going over and over everything that happened until the breakup, hoping that she can figure out what went wrong and how to make it work again. She also has many logistical questions. Should she answer his texts? Nope. Accept a booty call? Absolutely not. Should she still give him his birthday present? We don't think so. Write a closure letter going over the relationship and thanking him for all the good times? Nah. And what should she do with all his stuff at her place, and how should she tactfully get back her things from his place? Who cares? Get a new flat iron. Just get up, get dressed, and go out. Some will, but others refuse to date again until they see photos of their ex and his new girlfriend on Facebook. Whatever works, every woman has to get it into her soul that the relationship is completely over before she moves on. And here are some rulesy ways to get over an ex. And I'll just read you the boldface bullet points. I won't read you the entire part. It says, start dating ASAP. And then they explain that. They say, did we say that already? And then they say, do a cleanse, make it fun, invite a friend to your place for the purging, get rid of everything he gave you. That's a good idea. And then remember the bad times, not the good ones, because that will help a lot, especially if you write it down, is my opinion. Don't write angry letters, texts, emails, Facebook posts, tweets, or anything. There's a saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, and it's true. We know women who have posted angry and mean-spirited things like, you'll be sorry, or you and your slutty new girlfriend deserve each other, or I want to rip my heart out, but someone already did. Don't be stupid. If you send hateful messages, the same guy who said he loved you once could say you are harassing him and threaten to call the police. Your best move is no contact at all. Defriend, unfollow, delete him from contacts, whatever you need to do. Hi, Bea. At this point, don't worry that such a move will possibly show that you care too much. In these situations, how you are perceived doesn't matter. It's still the best idea for everyone. Trying to exact revenge, hi Bea, will only prevent you from moving on. If you must vent or release some anger, email your rant to a friend or to your therapist, or so someone else in the world knows how you feel. Another great option is to write it out and then hit the delete button. But the last person who should read your diatribe is your ex. And then they go into some examples, and then they say, don't write status updates about your ex or your heartbreak so that all your girlfriends can rally around you. That's not useful. Do not reach out to your ex's family or friends to try to get them to plead your case. I know somebody who did that, and it just made the person look like a fool. The good news, and this is the last paragraph of that, the last sentence, the good news is that every client who moved on quickly and met and married her Mr. Right also realized in hindsight that the guy she had been pining for was wrong for her. So get even by meeting someone even better for you. So that's what they say about having to deal with rejection. I have lots of examples of rejection. I mean, the only people that don't reject me are my cats. And that's Bea and Chloe. This is a black and white picture of them. I love them to death. And then this is the color picture of them. So anyway, Germanus Lieber was a British sociologist, economist, and historian of Austrian origin. His name was Friedrich Otto Hertz. He was born in Vienna on the 26th of March in 1878, and he died in London on the 20th of November in 1964. If you ever feel there is a rejection, at the heart of racism is the religious assertion that God made a creative mistake when he brought some people into being. I have a friend who said that her boyfriend's parents said, you can't date someone who's Chinese. Best you date someone who's white. And that was a white boyfriend, and this girl was so upset. Anyway, and then Mahatma Gandhi, he said something else, and that falls in line with the rules rejection. An eye for an eye makes the world blind. You really don't get very much out of, letting the guy know that you're hurt, because they know they know you're hurt. They know you're hurt. On some level, they always know what they did wrong. And we all are, I think, as a matter of fact, when I was talking about forgiveness the last few days, I was talking about how on some level, the people that perpetrate the crimes always have some knowledge, because the absolute truth is always there. You can't deny the absolute truth. And people know these things. I can't explain it, but there is an absolute truth. And then a lot of us who believe in God, and a lot of us who believe in a higher power, or even people who call the higher power a crystalline grid, or cosmos, or karma, or the universe. There's matter in the universe. There's bad crimes. There's good deeds. Everyone has a collection of them, and they're all in the subconscious. It doesn't matter whether the conscious recognizes them or not. They know that it's there. The unconscious knows that it's there. It's all tabulated. It's all there. It's all tally marked. And when somebody perpetrates a crime on you, all, for example, of those, when I talked about the war from 1937, where my mom was born in 1938, for example, all of that stuff is there. I actually have a friend who is of Japanese descent, who moved to Britain and got married to a British man. She was in the United States for a while, and should I say her name? So Mika, if you're out there somewhere, I'm talking about you right now. She was a really, 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 really good person. And she told me that her grandfather had been in the war where they invaded China. And in Japan, publicly, Japan has never admitted that they invaded China. They have, at one point, they did admit it because there was so much incontrovertible evidence, but then there are the deniers, just like Holocaust deniers. There are the deniers that say, oh, such a thing never happened. But my friend Mika told me, Mika Aoki, she told me her grandfather came home from that war, and at home they learned about it. So in school it was never publicized. So there were some people whose families were not had not got members of the military that had participated in such an event, but the people whose families had members that knew about it, they knew, and her grandma went around to a lot of Buddhist temples asking for forgiveness. She went all over Japan, and there is evidence. There is evidence, and I won't say how she did it because that's private to her. And she told me a couple of things that I had to confirm for her. That, you know, she asked me 2 questions and a couple of things that only really, you know, are culturally Chinese, and she asked about those things, and then she asked me if those were true, and I said in Chinese mythology such and such is true. And so she was able to confirm that her grandma really was going around asking for forgiveness of some things that her husband did overseas during his military expedition. So there is knowledge, and when people have it, it's heavy on them. But if you meet people who are deniers, keep in mind that on some level they have it in them. They know, and there can be a day in their lifetime that you will never see, that you will never know about, that they break down and meet their own conscience when they feel they are guilty. So keep in mind, this is always out there. Don't bother to demand that they show it to you. They have to do it on their own, and when you forgive, it's not for them. It's for you, yourself. Forgiving just means like, oh God, I knew my mom did this to me, but right now I'm just going to concentrate on these grapes I'm eating. Or, I know somebody killed my cat, but I'm not going to think about that. Right now I'm just going to think about the coffee. And I'm going to play with my current cat, who is jumping all over the hell of place. What are you doing, Chloe? My goodness, you should see what she just did. She went from all the way at the other end of the apartment, jumped on here, and then jumped over there, and then went up to the ceiling. Just in 2 seconds. How'd you do that? Goodness gracious, I'm sorry. I have 2 cats, and they are so much fun. They are very entertaining. And it's because they just had breakfast and they have all this energy. What are you doing? She's doing it again. So anyway, but like, you think about it and you go, well, entertain me. Entertain me. Just entertain me. Don't think about it. In other words, you focus away from the evil and you focus onto something good. of the moment. Live your life. Every moment counts. And forgiveness is nothing to do with the other person. Forgiveness has nothing to do with the perpetrators of the crime. Forgiveness only is, I have this, but I'm not thinking about it until I finish my coffee. And then keep postponing rules-breaking activities. This is the rules as well. It says keep postponing rules-breaking activities. So, you know, you lied about not being married. Oh my God, what a jerk. Anyway, so like, oh, I have an example for you too, Rachel. I had a neighbor who was about my age, about a year older than me. His parents and my parents, we all lived next door to each other. And like years later, his younger brother, who lived at home, told my younger brother, oh, his brother got a girl pregnant and got married, and she's Chinese. He said she was Chinese, but got a girl pregnant and this and that. Well, one day I was at Long's Drug Stores, which has now been purchased and turned into CVS in California. It used to be Long's Drug Stores. I was there, and there was this woman who was Vietnamese, with her name, and her last name was the last name of my neighbor. And, you know, they are of Swiss-German descent, so her last name was of Swiss-German, you know, origin. And I thought, oh, she's got to be the one that he married, you know. And also, I think the younger brother said something about her being somewhere nearby. And guess what? One day I ran into him. He showed up at his parents' house, and we were talking. He was now a real estate agent. He had put on some weight, and he was talking to me, and I said, so, are you, so anything going on? Are you married or anything? And he said, nah. Can you believe it? Asshole. Anyway, okay, before I go on and keep on starting to use all these R-rated words, I think I better get ready to sign off for today. Today was a rules day, Thursday, June 24th. As a matter of fact, it's kind of an anniversary of mine for something I didn't even think of until a minute ago when this all came up, and it was like a bad situation back then, and I'm like, oh, I never thought of it. But think about that. That is forgiveness. That is forgetting about something. That is not letting it come into your life. Not forgetting it as in I don't think it ever happened, but forgetting it as in, oh shit, I'm not going to think about that right now. So anyway, so I'm going to definitely put an R rating on this for language. So, okie dokie. Alrighty, thanks for coming. I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so looking forward to the end of the week. Put in your last last ditch effort. Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Yeah, be a bitch. Oh gosh, that book, they say why men love bitches. The word bitch is really a female dog. Goodness gracious. So, anyway, put in your last ditch effort for the rest of this week. Tomorrow's Friday, and take up your energy. I finished my coffee, so I'm gonna go and get some better breakfast now. I had something, but I want to finish some more breakfast. So I will talk to you again later. You guys have a great, 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 great day. Take care.